Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Cassandra. This is my dog Luna. I'm going to take you through a full body power flow. So this is a strength and sculpt vinyasa practice. I'll give lots of options and modifications, but I still would say that this is probably best suited for intermediate students. No props are required, and we're really getting into the full body. Of course, even though the main focus is on building strength and creating that internal heat, I always include some nice stretches and hip openers so that you can also work on flexibility. We're going to start in wide-legged child's pose, big toes together, knees as wide as you would like them to be as you press your hips back towards your heels, and really think of lengthening out through the sides of your waist here as you walk your hands forward and melt on down. And even though we have our arms reaching up overhead, I want you to press your shoulders away from your ears. And the breath is always important in any yoga class, but I want you to pay special attention to it in this power flow. The breath is a great way to gauge if we're straining, pushing ourselves maybe a little bit too far. So if at any point you notice that your breath becomes short or shallow, or you notice that you're holding your breath, that's usually a pretty good indication that you need to ease back a little bit. We're going to try to maintain an even breath rhythm in and out through the nose, letting that breath go all the way down to our lower belly. Staying in child's pose, just come up onto your fingertips so that your elbows lift off of the mat. And almost think of pushing your shoulders and your armpits down, just stretching through the upper body a little bit more. Lengthen and crawl the fingertips out, reach it forward a little more. And flattening the palms, we're going to lift ourselves up. You can stay in this wider variation of tabletop pose, so my hands are a little bit further than my shoulders. We're going to inhale into this modified plank. As you exhale, you're going to lower chaturanga, keep the elbows in, push yourself back up, and then exhale, press the hips back. They won't be able to go all the way back. Just think of bringing your forehead down, and we'll do that a few more times, warming up through the core. Hips are low. Exhale, lower your push up. Inhale, push it back up. Exhale, child's pose, stretch through the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do that 3 more times. Follow your own breath rhythm. Pushing into your fingertips and knuckles. Keep some of the weight out of your wrists. And really draw that lower belly in towards the lower back. Last one here. And from this child's pose, let's find our neutral tabletop pose. So bring your hands back in so that they're now directly underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're going to alternate from the traditional bird dog, where we're going to extend right arm forward, left leg back. Think of hugging the lower belly in. And then the next time you exhale, you're going to bring it in, and this time open to fire hydrant. So my elbow and my knee are both going to be bent, and we'll just alternate. So in through the midline, open straight, bring it in, and out to the side. And just keep going here at your own pace. So inhale, extend, exhale to center. Inhale, open out, and bring it in. Let's do 3 more. Try to stabilize through the foundation of your left arm and your right leg. Really feel those muscles engage along the spine. Last one here, stretch and in to the side and in. Release, just take cat and cow before we go to the other side. One of my little foster kittens joining us here. We'll do cat and cow with these animals. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. And exhale, round and contract chin to chest, finding that cat pose. And just keep going. One more cycle. Setting ourselves up for the second side. So alternating from bird dog, this time left arm forward, right arm back. Try to flatten out your lower back. Exhale through to center and then open. Find that cactus arm, fire hydrant leg, back through the midline. Inhale and exhale. So core is really strong and engaged here. You're using your glutes and the hamstrings to lift that leg. Keep pushing into that right hand. Let's take 3 more. I'm sure if you have cats at home, they probably also love your yoga mat. I've never met a cat who did not like yoga mats. And let's release. Let's find our full downward facing dog. Walk your hands a couple inches past your shoulders, tuck the toes under, and lift your hips up and back. So first downward dog, you can go ahead and bend your knees, paddle out through the feet. And one last little core and shoulder activation here. We're going to transition from down dog into plank pose 10 times. Inhale, forward into plank. If you'd like to add on, you're going to tap the knees down, lift them up, and we all meet downward facing dog as we exhale. So inhale, you're welcome to just hold your plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank, maybe you tap. Exhale, lift up and back. Five more here. Get your shoulders all the way up over your wrists. See if you can push into your heels a little bit more every time you find your downward facing dog, reaching your chest towards your thighs. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Holding downward facing dog. Readjust if you need to here. Relax your neck. Let's find our 3-legged dog. Right leg extends up. Bend your right knee. Open up your hip. Really get that knee up as high as it'll go. We're coming into our warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So right foot to the top of the mat, in between the hands, back foot parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. And I want you to bend generously into that front knee, squeeze it open, and we're just gonna reach our arms straight up. So imagine you're holding a big beach ball between your palms. I want you to lengthen as you inhale, and on the exhale, just tilt forward as if you were doing extended side angle. Inhale, back up, engaging the obliques. Exhale to tilt. 3 more here. The further you go, the more you'll feel this. Just focus on the kittens. It'll make the burn probably a little bit easier. Last one, into our full extended side angle. So you're welcome to just bring your forearm to your thigh, or you can bring the fingertips down to the mat. Bicep is along the ear. Stretch out long from your left fingertips all the way down into your left foot. Into Vashisthasana, side plank. Left hand comes down. Pivot over to the edge of your left foot. Right leg stacks on top, right arm up. Push down into the mat to lift your hips up as high as they'll go. And a bit of a challenge, we're coming from here into our high lunge. So right foot will step forward. Feet are hip width distance apart. Push into the mat. Inhale, arms reach up. From here, we're gonna step up, knee into your chest. You can bring your hands to your heart. Engage the core as if you're doing a crunch. And then we're gonna straighten the arms, reach that left leg back into warrior 3. Let's do that 4 more times. Knee to chest, stand up tall, squeeze it in. Vira 3, straighten the arms, straighten that leg. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Last one, exhale. Bend into that supporting leg, find your downward facing dog. Step it back and let's take our flow. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Cobra. Downward facing dog. Cleansing breath here. Inhale through the nose, big sigh out the mouth. And we repeat over on the second side. Left leg reaches up, bend your left knee, open up that hip. See if you can push into your right heel a little bit more. Into our warrior two. Left foot forward to the top of the mat. Back heel spins parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. And instead of having our arms out, we're going to reach them straight up, holding onto that imaginary beach ball. You're going to inhale to lengthen and then exhale to tilt. Nothing changes in the legs. Inhale all the way up and exhale, lean forward. 3 more like this. Keep the tension in the arms, the energy going all the way through the fingertips. Last one. And coming into our full expression of extended side angle, either resting the forearm over on the thigh or bringing your fingertips down to the mat. Right arm is reaching alongside the ear. Stretch out long, keep pushing into that back foot. And we're coming from here to Vashisthasana, our side plank on the right. My right hand comes down. I'm gonna roll to the outer edge of my right foot, stacking the left leg on top and extending my top arm. You can look up to challenge your balance a little bit, otherwise keep your gaze down. So challenging transition. From here, we're coming into our high lunge. So you need to step that left foot back to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart to help with balance. Push into the floor. Inhale, lifting up. From here, we're gonna step up, bring your hands to your heart, pull that right knee in towards your belly. Core is engaged. Warrior 3, straighten that leg, reach the arms forward. A few more times like this. Exhale and reach. Wobbling is totally normal. Try to keep your gaze steady on something that is not moving. We'll do 2 more. Last one. From warrior 3, we find downward facing dog. Bend into that left knee, plant the hands, and step your left foot back. Finding our flow, inhale to plank, chaturanga, cobra, or upward facing dog. Downward dog. And from this downward dog, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Bend your knees generously and roll all the way up to stand. Inch by inch. We'll come into our temple pose. So you can open out the legs, heels in, toes out at about a 45-degree angle. We're gonna bend into the knees, sink the hips, and think of squeezing those thighs open. Let's bring our hands behind the back of the head. So ground down here, legs will stay exactly as they are. All you're going to do is reach right elbow to your right knee. Inhale back through to center. Exhale, left elbow to left knee. And reach it back up. A few more cycles like this. So really use obliques to get you down and to pull you back up, not relying on momentum for this motion. Last cycle, so 1 more each side. And from center, let's straighten the legs, turn the toes in, feet are parallel to the shorter edges of your mat. Lift and lengthen, and we'll fold on down. Take a moment just to stretch at the back of your legs, getting deeper into the hamstrings. Relax your head, your neck, your shoulders. And you can lift your chest up just a couple inches so that you can turn your heels in, toes out, exactly the way they were before. We'll come through Skandasana, our side lunge. So you're bending into your right knee. Flex through your left foot and see if you can lower down. You might stay up a little bit higher. That's fine as well. Option one is to keep your hands on the mat for support. If you like more of a challenge, you're going to use only leg strength, bringing your hands to your heart. We're going to switch to the other side. So push into those legs, use the strength of your quads and glutes. Skandasana over to the left knee is bent, and over to the other side. Try to stay low. As you switch here, one more. We'll do one more round. So once more to the right. And finally, once more to the left. Pushing back through to center. Walk your hands to the top of the mat. Step forward, ragdoll fold. You can widen your feet towards the edges of the mat. Feel free to bend your knees generously. I like to hold onto the elbows, swaying a little bit side to side here. Release fingertips down to the floor, bend your knees, push into your heels, roll all the way up to stand. And we'll take our final vinyasa from here. So feet are hip width distance apart. Inhale, circle the arms wide, palms come together. Exhale, fold forward and down. Halfway lift, flat back. Plant the palms, step back to plank pose before lowering to chaturanga. Into your upward facing dog. And downward dog. Let's take a nice hip release here to start closing off our practice. Reach your right leg up to the sky, and we'll find our pigeon pose. Right knee behind the right wrist. Extending that left leg back behind us. You're welcome to stay up high in this pigeon, or if you'd like, you can fold on down. Taking 10 or so breaths here. Try to relax your upper body. Always coming back to the quality of your breath, the even rhythm and pacing of the inhale and the exhale. Two more deep belly breaths here. And you can start to lift yourself up. We'll find our way back to downward dog, stretching out that right leg before we go to pigeon pose on the second side. Left leg rises, inhale, and go ahead and bring your left knee somewhere behind your left wrist. Don't worry so much about creating a 90-degree angle or having your shin parallel to the front of the mat. It really does not need to be at that angle. A lot of it just has to do with your hip anatomy and just the range of motion that is accessible to you right now. Just find a level of sensation that feels like you can hold it for these 10 breaths without having to contract and create more tension in other parts of your body. We want to find as much ease as possible in this pose. Two more deep belly breaths. And this will be our last downward facing dog. Take your time to get there. And just do any little movements and stretches that feel good here, pushing into your heels, straightening out through your arms. And we'll come to lay down on our backs. Before we do Shavasana, we'll just take bridge pose. One last little activation for the lower body. So keeping your feet hip-width distance apart, arms along your sides, push down into your heels, squeeze through your seat and lift your hips and lower back and mid back off the mat. Hug in through your inner thighs. And now see if you can flex your feet so that only the bottoms of your heels are touching the mat. And now you're just going to wing your legs open as if you were doing butterfly pose and then squeezing back in to bridge. And we'll just do that a few more times. So opening out and squeezing and lifting up higher to your butterfly bridge and traditional bridge. 3 more here. Inhale to open. Exhale. Squeeze it in. Twice more. Last one. And flatten your feet. Roll all the way down, inch by inch. Let's pull the knees in towards the belly. Give it a big squeeze. Maybe rock a little side to side. And we'll be coming into Shavasana, so just check in to see if there's anything else that would feel good for your hips and your lower back. We'll stretch out the arms and the legs, palms facing up towards the sky, closing your eyes. And really let yourself enjoy and settle into this full body relaxation as a way to process all the strengthening work that we did. Taking a few minutes here. Deepen your breath. Waking ourselves back up with slow, gentle movement. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead, lengthening out from fingers to your toes. And we'll roll to one side, push your arms into the floor just to lift up, taking a seat. And sit up in any way that feels comfortable to you, closing your eyes once you're there. Let's join our hands together at the front of the heart. Take a moment to show yourself gratitude for making it to the end of this class, even with all of the challenging poses and transitions and effort it required. And we'll close by chanting Om one time together. Let's inhale to chant. Deep breath in. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing this power flow with me. I do hope you enjoyed it. I know I certainly felt it in my body, very activating. Leave me a comment before you go. Please do subscribe, and hopefully we'll practice again together very soon.